This is a game changer for Arsenal. It's finally announced, and maybe Arsenal supporters can feel like their transfer window is about to begin. But Martin Zubimendi officially announced by Arsenal Football Club, and the time of which it took this deal to be completed should not overshadow the brilliance, the quality, the class, and the layers that Zubimendi could add to Arsenal Football Club. Now hit the like button, make sure you are subscribing, get the bell notification turned on as well. But the midfield maestro is here, and his ability to control games for Arsenal is going to be important. He thrives at dictating the tempo. And I think there was many a game last season where Arsenal lost their way in very important parts of football matches. Very important parts of games. They're leading a lot of games last year where Arsenal were leading the game and they drew it. Probably, I'm just top of my head, easily threw away 12 points, if not more, from leading positions last year. And if you think about other tempo controllers over the years, Michael Carrick, Busquets, this man is in that ballpark. I'm not saying he's as good as Busquets, so don't start crying your eyes out. In that ballpark. He is calm, he's precise, and his passing range will bring a control to Liverpool's midfield, to Arsenal's midfield, that we haven't seen enough, maybe in the last 18 months. An element of his game that's also under-regarded is his defensive ability and his intelligence when it comes to reading the game. And for any sitting, holding, defensive, whichever phrase you want to use, reading danger like a seasoned pro is something that Zubimendi is so brilliant at. And I know there's obviously a lot of negativity for the right reasons surrounding Thomas Partey at the moment. But on a footballing sense, losing Partey is damaging. But there's sort of this idea that Zubimendi doesn't have the intelligence or doesn't read the game well enough or isn't good defensively, and Arsenal are going to lack. Unless he doesn't adapt to England, I don't think that is going to be the case. He is tactically sharp and he's a brilliant defensive anchor to put in the midfield to help, not shadow, shield is the word I was looking for, the back line. Very important indeed. He's Champions League ready. Of course, he's played in multiple European competitions. He's not a baby. He's mature. And I think this is what's key. They're not signing a 20-year-old with potential. It's a player who is ready to go. And I am someone that believes in Prem proven, but there are not very many available DMs of Zubimendi's level in the Premier League. And attainable is another conversation. It really, really does. For me, you look at the price as well. I know it's a buyout clause, but it's a decent price. It's being spread over a long period of time. This could be one of the best signings that Arsenal have made in many, many years. Now, of course, what Arsenal need to do is they need to go and get that striker. They've got to go and get more than Madueke in the attack. Eze would be a fantastic addition to the midfield stroke the attack. But the new number 36, Martin Zubimendi, I still think, and I spoke about this a few weeks ago on my other channel, Terry Flewers TV, I still think there's too many people that are sort of writing this deal off a little bit or overlooking it because it was done in January. Because it was done in January, because it was done last year, there is this sort of notion that it should be, there's this kind of notion that it should be kind of overlooked somewhat, and the hype sort of died away. And that does happen in the modern day world when it comes to these transfers. But it's 65 million euros, which equates to, in the current day world, at 56 million pound. I think this is an excellent piece of business indeed. And I wanted to take a second here to look at some of the comments that are coming through from Arsenal fans, because it's always key to engage in these things. And you can see the first 4 comments are actually from rivals saying he'll flop, he'll do a bad job. And that is always a great indicator to yourself. If you're an Arsenal fan, you look at that and go, well, my rivals are saying this is bad. There's the potential for this to be, there's always the potential for this to be good. There really, really is. There's also a lot of people saying he's finally here. There's also a lot of Arsenal fans happy because there was so much bullshit surrounding this deal. The amount of Arsenal fans who claimed it would never happen, that it was a lie, that Sammy McBell, who broke the news, wasn't telling the truth. That has all now been put to bed. There was all the stories from the middle of May to the middle of June, actually near the end of June, really, from the mainstream media, especially in Spain, that Madrid were coming in, Madrid were going to take the player away, the deal was in jeopardy. And this is probably one of the reasons why Arsenal fans are so jaded, they are so tired, they are so frustrated with transfer talk online, because even when they're getting a deal done and it's good, they're still sort of bantered and slagged off along the way, which is interesting to say the least. Excuse me, still getting over this laryngitis, so I need that drink. But I think it's a phenomenal piece of business. I said it when Liverpool thought they had the deal tied up. I think this man's a game changer in the Premier League. Players like Martin Zubimendi are so underrated. Every now and then you get a Vieira. Rodri, of course, is getting it with winning a Ballon d'Or. Busquets had a lot of fame around him. But these sometimes unspectacular. They're not making crunching tackles every 5 minutes. They might not be banging in screamers from 30 yards. But these are players that I refer to as gravy. And I call them gravy because it doesn't matter if you cook a roast dinner, a traditional Sunday lunch. It doesn't matter if you've got the best chicken, the best beef. If you have put together the greatest mashed potatoes, roast potatoes, you have roasted, boiled, steamed your veg to perfection. If you have the biggest, fluffiest, lightest, most delicious Yorkshire puddings in history, you can have all the sauces you want. You can have your horseradish, your cranberry, your mint if you're eating lamb. If your gravy is bang average, the whole dinner's ruined. The gravy may not be the part of the dinner that people focus on in the making of it. Or when you're in the car on the way, do you enjoy your lunch? Oh, the chicken was great. Oh, the potatoes were amazing. But it's the gravy that sets it off. The player that I used to speak this way about is one of the most underrated players in Premier League history, and that is Michael Carrick. And I think Arsenal have signed their own version here of Michael Carrick. A player that may not blow your socks off every game in terms of the spectacular moments, crunching tackles, screamers. But the efficiency, the reading of the game, and maintaining the tempo of the match, whether that's speed the gameplay up, we've got to score more goals, slow the gameplay down, help kill the game off, excellent. You will hear some analysis that will say, well, I watched him for Sociedad against United and he got run all over. Yes, Man United overall had a more physical team than Sociedad. But he's not playing for Real Sociedad in the Premier League. He is now going to be surrounded by the likes of Declan Rice. He's going to have Gabriel and Saliba behind him. And by the end of this window, who knows what else he may have with Eze's and Rodrigo's, Sesko's, Gyökeres's, all connected to Arsenal Football Club. This is a fantastic piece of business on every single level. Give us your thoughts. Give us your opinions in the comments section below. I can already see it in the comments. Rivals are fuming. Rivals are crying. Arsenal fans, take this advice whichever way you want. But take note. Why do you think rivals are so gutted that you have got this deal done? Take care, people. Peace.